Yes, people. What's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash a like and make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. We're now 75 subscribers away from 6K. So let's get there as quickly as possible. So if you've not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And let's dive into today's video. And I'm going to be discussing the attacking options that Chelsea have been linked with in recent days and deciding which one I think is going to be the best one for the club to pursue. Now, we know obviously with the Christopher Nkunku injury that we desperately now need to go and find another attacking midfield-minded player slash winger. We needed one anyway, but now with Nkunku obviously out until January, as we all know, we need to desperately find one as quickly as possible. We've got a couple of weeks left in the transfer window to solve that issue. And it depends what we're looking for. Are we looking for an out-and-out number 10 who can play wide? Or are we looking for someone who's an out-and-out winger but can also play in the number 10 role? Because it depends also what formation we're going to go with. Are we going to switch to a 4-3-3 whilst Nkunku's out and use Lavia in the midfield alongside Enzo and Moises Caicedo? Or are we going to stick with a 4-2-3-1 and use Carney Chukwuemeka as a 10 or use Conor Gallagher as a 10 potentially? A lot is going to depend on what sort of route Chelsea want to go down. But we have been linked with 4 names. Now, of course, Mohammed Kudus, that name doesn't seem to go away. And, you know, for me, I cannot understand why when Kudus is seemingly there, very easy deal to do, in my opinion. You know, Ajax are setting the asking price at what, 51 million euros, so about 45 million pounds. Seems very fair for the 23-year-old international, Ghanaian international. And if you look at his stats from last season, I think he best suits, in my opinion, the Pochettino system. Because look here, so he's played as a centre forward, he's played as a right wing and an attacking midfielder. And, you know, last season in the Eredivisie, he got 11 goals and 4 assists in 30 appearances, which is pretty good going. 4 goals, 2 assists in 6 Champions League games in the group stage. You know, it's an impressive record. He's done very well. He's versatile, can play right wing, which we need, can play centre forward, which we could well need. And he could also play as a number 10, which we also need. For me, he is the most obvious choice there, yet we don't really seem to be going for it. That is what I don't understand. Why are we not going for it? That is the big question, people. You know, the stats speak for themselves. The positioning speaks for themselves. You know, he's got that Champions League experience. He's got that European experience. He was very good at the World Cup. I know we can't be judging a player just based from the World Cup, but he was very good there as well. And, you know, he knows his way round. He knows his way round the football pitch. He's got an eye for goal. And, you know, out of all the players who've been linked with Barcola, Doku, Brennan Johnson, Kudus is the only one that is actually really a reliable goal scorer. And I look at the situation at Chelsea and I just think, right, okay, we've got really young, exciting, talented players in Nicholas Jackson, in Broja, in Mudryk, in Madueke. But I look at those guys and I'm still not seeing where the goals are coming from. It's going to require them to take a massive step up in their level of performance and their level of clinicalness in front of goal for us to make up the 30 to 40 goal deficit that we were facing last season. Now, have we got that in our locker? Only time will tell. But I think Kudus coming in would be a massive plus and would make a big difference to us finding some more goals, because he's the only one, as I said, that has got that versatility of right wing, centre forward and attacking midfielder. And he ticks all the boxes. And for me, he best fits a Maurizio Pochettino system. But for some reason, and for reasons that I cannot work out, the club don't seem to be interested in pursuing this deal. Now, is this because of the African Cup of Nations and he would be going away in January alongside Nicholas Jackson and we'd be 2 forwards down when we'd ideally rather not be? But what an AFCON that happens, every couple of years? Is that really a reason not to be signing a player? I cannot think of any other reasons outside of AFCON as to why Chelsea would not be pursuing Mohamed Kudus, you know, because it's the standout option on the market. Michael Olise would have been perfect for us, but that fell through. And in all honesty, all the other options, in my opinion, aren't as good. But Mohamed Kudus is right up there. And it's an obvious choice to go through now that we're not getting Olise. And I just cannot understand why Chelsea are not going for this. Have they noticed something in his attitude? Have they noticed something in the numbers that aren't coming that are slightly concerning them. I really don't know, but he ticks all the boxes, and I cannot understand why we wouldn't be pursuing this. Look, you can never say never with 2 weeks in the market to go. He's not quite agreed a deal with West Ham yet. Personal terms, I think, are sorted, but West Ham and Ajax are yet to agree a fee. So never say never with Chelsea. We are the hijack king, so we could go back in the last couple of weeks potentially if a move to West Ham doesn't happen. But I just, I don't understand it. I really don't. I can't think of any valid reasons why we wouldn't go for Kudus now that Elise is off the table. Kudus is the option that makes the most sense. It's a decent price. He's 23 years of age. There's loads of experience, loads of potential there as well to get better, and an eye for goal, and everything that Chelsea really need in an attacking player that we need to add to the squad. So I'm baffled, guys. I'm absolutely baffled as to why we aren't pursuing this. But if you look at the other names we're linked with, they've been linked with obviously Brennan Johnson at Forest, Jeremy Doku at Rennes, and obviously Bradley Barcola as well at Olympique Lyonnais in France. So it's 2 players from France and obviously 1 from the Premier League. If we look at Barcola's stats then, obviously from last season. Now, Barcola's an interesting one because, again, he's someone that's played centre forward, left wing and right wing. Again, last season in France, did a bit of a breakthrough year. He's a academy product from Lyon. But what's funny is in January, I think he was almost set to go on loan to the Swiss league, but then suddenly under Laurent Blanc he got a bit of a breakthrough, and he's shown some real quality. And he's raw, he's effective, he's good 1v1, he's good at taking players on. He's got a good eye for an assist. His cutbacks are good. 26 appearances, 5 goals and 9 assists for a 20-year-old in his first sort of proper season is pretty decent. It's clear that there's a lot of raw ability there. In the games that he played 9 as a right winger, 7 as a centre forward, and 4 as a left winger. So he's obviously most comfortable on the right-hand side, or he's played there the most. Then he's played as a centre forward. But again, 3 goals and 5 assists on the right is not bad. Not bad at all. And again, we need a right winger potentially also, because at the moment we've got Sterling, Madueke and Mudryk as our only wingers. So look, I can see the appeal in Barcola, but again, for me, you're taking another big risk with a youngster at 20 years of age. Is he going to come in and give us what we need, this season? I'm not. I think that's a very, very big ask. Undoubted talent. Not to mention as well the fact that PSG are the favourites for his signature. They had a 35 million euro bid rejected. Lyon want around 50 million euros for him, so around that 42 million pound mark. And you can see that being a sort of a PSG sign, the way they're moving away from that Galacticos model and snapping up all the best young talent in France. Barcola signing ticks all the boxes for Chelsea. It ticks boxes in terms of age. It ticks boxes in terms of potential. It ticks boxes in terms of versatility, comfortable on the right and the left, and can play as a centre forward in emergency. But it doesn't. I'm not sure what other boxes it's ticking in terms of goal scoring and making an almost instant impact, which is what we so desperately need. So for Barcola, so much talent, so much potential, a really exciting signing, but it doesn't really, I'm not sure it moves the needle for Chelsea right now. And I think PSG are in the driving seat on that one. If we quickly bring up Jeremy Doku as well, someone that Manchester City have been tracking this summer as well. Chelsea have recently been linked with him. It remains to be seen if we go and do anything serious on him. But again, someone who's played the majority of his games at right wing. He's 21 years of age, had a fantastic World Cup with Belgium. He looks a really exciting talent. Only 6 goals and 2 assists in 29 Liga games last season. Not the best return in numbers, but he's an out-and-out kind of pace merchant, old school sort of winger, tricks, pace, takes players on. He's a live wire, unpredictable. Could be a very different option from the bench. But he's played 16 games as a right winger with 6 goals and 4 assists, which is not too bad from the right side. But yeah, it's interesting. The numbers aren't the best, but there is definitely raw talent and raw potential there. And I think he's a little bit more experienced than Barcola, having played in World Cups, having played at the Euros. I think having also played a lot more in Liga as well. So in terms of that, he's perhaps a slightly more exciting option in terms of a bit more experienced. He's a different type of player, a live wire sort of player, unpredictable player, maybe a little bit similar to a Mudryk in that sort of sense. But for me, I think he's a better option than Barcola. He's probably going to be a similar sort of price from Rennes. Rennes produce very, very good players, so we wouldn't have to worry about how he's been schooled as a footballer. So yeah, I think it's an interesting one, Jeremy Doku. And out of obviously Barcola and Doku, it's definitely Doku for me on that front. But yeah, for me, I think Doku's characteristics and that unpredictability could be a bit of an X factor that could serve Chelsea really well. And if we move on to the final player we've been linked with in Nottingham Forest, Brennan Johnson, again, in and around the £50 million mark, that seems to be the cost for the majority of the players that we have been linked with. If we look at Brennan Johnson, again, someone who's played as a centre forward, a right wing, and an attacking midfield player also. 38 games in the Premier League, played 38 times for Forest last season, 8 goals and 3 assists. He's played 14 of those as a centre forward, 5 goals, 1 assist. Right winger, he's played 11 times with 2 goals and an assist. 7 appearances as a number 10 with 3 goals. So he also ticks that versatility box. He also ticks the box of Premier League experience. He's been there and done that in the Premier League so far. He had a good season with Forest, along with Morgan Gibbs-White, one of their best players. My thing with this is at 50 million quid, I think there's better options out there in terms of Jeremy Doku. Obviously, Mohammed Kudus as well would be better value signing, but he ticks that versatility box. He ticks the box in terms of he's got potential to improve. How much better would he be around better players and in a better team and working under a better manager? No disrespect to Steve Cooper at Forest. His game could really come on. But for me, he's probably the bottom of the list of these options because of the, I don't know, just because of the potential. I think the in terms of like his profile and what he provides. Obviously, the versatility is there, which can be very useful, but can also be a detriment as well. I just think it's the least exciting options of the 4 that we have been linked with. But I mean, I think Kudus is off the table. But for me, out of the 3, Johnson, Barcola, and Doku, I think Doku is the obvious choice for Chelsea to go for. If we can, get ahead of the game, steal a march on Man City, who are yet to formalise their interest seriously, then I think it's one we definitely need to look at. That live wire, that unpredictability, that pace, that touchline winger. You just don't know what you're going to get from him. I think that can be a really good sort of X factor, box of tricks from the bench and certainly from the off as well. So for me, guys, out of Barcola, Johnson and Doku, if it's going to be one of those 3, which it looks like right now, unless Chelsea have got something up their sleeve, then I think that Doku is the one that Chelsea should be going for. But as I said in the video earlier, Kudus ticks all the boxes now that Elise is off the table. So I've got no idea why we wouldn't be going for him. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. Why do you think Chelsea aren't going for Kudus? Let me know in the comments and let me know who you would pick out of the 3 that we have been linked with. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Make sure you smash a like. As I said, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. 75 subs from 6K. Now let's get there as quickly as possible. And I'll catch you again in another video soon, guys. Up the Chelsea and peace out, people.